And I will say too is that being like my background of how I grew up
Mhm.
and dealing with addiction or a lot of people around me,
Mhm.
seeing them in their addiction,
Yeah.
it's like I guess you can say I made excuses for them
Mm.
because I always try to see like the best version of them
Yeah.
to where I'm like that person's still in there
Mhm.
and that who this part this is like the devil coming out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's not really them.
Mm.
I know I really know him.
Yeah.
This is not really him.
Yeah.
But the truth of the reality is that ends up becoming who they are
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're so lost in their addiction.
Mhm.
Like there's no that person that I want to see,
Yeah.
it's not there anymore.
Mhm.
But I'm like too loyal.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I'm really loyal to a fault.
Mhm.
And I try to like, oh no, it was that person was just going like coming down from something. It was just a,
Mhm.
rough time from them for
Mhm.
them. Like um addiction is it's like being sick.
Mhm.
And so I've thought about it like that because I grew up that way. I
Mm.
seen it all the time.
Yeah.
Um from having like my parents being in their own
Yeah.
addictions, my family around us,
Mhm.
that was like a normal thing.
Yeah.
And so now I know better. It's not a
Mhm.
normal thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I am the way I am now
Mhm.
and trying to make better decisions
Yeah.
and even just like correcting those around me.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. And so, like, does it grieve you and hurt you when you see the kids kind of make some of the mistakes that you allow them to see?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And which is why I talk to them.
Mhm.
I They don't like to hear it. Sometimes it's a little hard to have those conversations with them
Mhm.
because as they see it is just me scolding them.
Mhm.
So they're not there yet.
Yeah.
Um, they're not like mature enough to understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even though, yeah, they're adults and they have their own families, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Just like when I was that age, I didn't want to hear it either. But I kind of like find like the best time.
Mhm.
I don't do it like right when it happens.
Yeah.
Whatever they're going through, whatever I witness, I'll wait
Mhm.
until everyone's out of emotion
Mhm.
and we're having our own one-on-one hanging
Mhm.
out, just relaxing or
Mhm.
whatnot. And then I'll bring it up because I feel like that's a better time for us to talk
Mhm.
about it.
Mhm.
And so that way they can understand, like, okay, maybe that was wrong and it's not
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
So that's how I try to deal with them, which it's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah. Why you say it's hard?
Well, like my daughter, I see myself in her
Mhm.
so much,
Mhm.
like so much. And she like has that attitude how
Mhm.
I used to have.
Mhm.
And my son, he don't want to hear nothing nobody got to
Mhm.
say.
Mhm.
Um, it's sometimes a little easier to talk with him
Mhm.
because of our bond that we have,
Yeah.
but he's very stubborn.
Mhm.
He's very, very stubborn. And he
Mhm.
grew up with all women.
Mhm.
So uh I see sometimes like he has that attitude just
Mhm.
like with the girls. Even though he's like really masculine and everything,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, we could tell you grew up with the girls.
Yeah.
Have a lot of emotion and stuff.
Yeah. So, in your journey, you know how like our journey makes us who we are today.
Mhm.
Would you take anything back?
No,
No.
no, honestly, I feel like everything that I went through, that it's made who I am today.
Mhm.
Uh, I was reading something one day, and it was saying like God puts you through these things,
Mhm.
um, And it may not be for you.
Mhm.
It may be for somebody else that you encounter later on in life
Yeah.
that they need like the advice from you
Mhm.
to share with them
Yeah.
to help them.
Mhm.
And it may not even have nothing to do with you.
Right. Right.
So that's why I don't regret anything,
Mhm.
because I feel like all that stuff that I went through.
Mhm.
And when I see people and they meet me and start talking to me, hang out, they never would know that I've been through all these things.
Yeah.
Or my past is what it is.
Mhm.
And when I start speaking to them because I see something triggers, like, okay, well, maybe I should give them a little bit of advice
Yeah.
because I've been there, I've done that.
Right.
And if I can speak on it, speak some type of life into
Mhm.
their situation, it can help change and stir them in a different
Yes.
way.
Mhm.
Um, I always say, like, I always feel like I'm here to like help set a generation free.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
somebody. Sometimes people don't have anybody,
Mhm.
so that's why I speak so openly.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want to just sit here to say it just to say it. I'm speaking openly because somebody may want to hear it or
Yeah.
somebody may need to hear it.
Right. Right.
'Cause you never know what people are going through.
Exactly that part.
They
That
have a
whole part.
smile on their face and going through something totally different
Mhm.
behind that at
Yeah.
home or
Right.
just within themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I say that a lot because I walk around with a smile on my face and everyone's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's so cheery and
Yeah.
everything," but no one really knows how I feel inside
Yeah. Yeah.
until like they get to talk to me a little bit
Mhm.
more.
Mhm. One thing I do like is that I hear you take a part of advice I gave you a while ago when I would tell you everything's about timing.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Hmm.
And I've said, don't do it right when emotions are high. Timing is everything,
Yes.
because that sets an atmosphere if people will be able to receive you or they cannot,
Hmm.
you know, is all about timing, because God is a timely God, He don't come when we want him, but he always on time,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
Most definitely is always on.
Yes.
Are you ashamed of anything you've gone through?
I don't know. I never
No?
thought about that,
Okay.
honestly. I mean, I guess you could say the last relationship I was in,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel a little bit of a shame
Mm-hmm.
of what I allowed myself to put up with.
Yeah.
Uh, but then I also feel like had I not gotten into that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe I may have never would have left the last one.
Yeah.
So even though it was bad,
Mm-hmm.
it was, and I said, like I say, I don't know which one was worse.
Yeah.
Um, I don't regret it because it took me away from something that I never thought I was going to be able to walk away from,
Yeah.
because I loved that other person so much
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted so badly for my family to work and us to have this happily ever after, you know? I remember sometimes my other sister used to live across the street from me, and I would sometimes watch her and her family like walk out to the car and
Mm-hmm.
like do stuff, and it would like bring tears to my eyes
Mm-hmm.
because I'd feel bad
Yeah.
that my kids don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's why I fought so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I guess you would say I'm a little ashamed,
Mm-hmm.
but not really.
You're ashamed but not regretful.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Just of what I allowed myself to go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
better than that. I know I'm better than that.
Yeah. But then too, how could you contest or even speak to that thing as somebody else if you never gone through it? I
Exactly.
always say you can't tell me how to cure a gunshot wound if you never been shot.
Hmm.
It's like, girl, go get shot first and then tell me how to cure it. Don't say, oh, I was on Google and said, no, I
Yeah.
don't want to hear
Yeah.
that. If you ain't never been slapped or beat or punched or, really gone through a horrible situation, a toxic relationship, how can you tell me? Because people sometimes they look at the finished product,
Yeah.
so they may not know that we were a part of domestic violence.
Hmm.
I was too. Was never with my husband, um, but I was in relationships that was very toxic and
Hmm.
violent. So, um, and we got down, and it was like, not a proud moment, but I'm not regretful of it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I can relate to someone um, on that playing field, on that understanding that, child, just walk away
Mhm.
because it's either going to be your life or their life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you can be pushed to a point where you're thinking about killing somebody in their sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's like, why even get to that point?
Yeah.
Then you're taken from your kids and all of those things. And it's like your self worth and dignity and value is so much more than that,
Mhm.
you know, that, um, and it's ultimately on you because you stayed too long,
Yes.
not you being beat, but I'm saying staying in that situation
Mhm.
for too long. It's like enough is enough. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like I didn't, um, want to become a punching bag.
Mhm.
Or sometimes when in that situation, you like, I'm about to take off on him first before he take off on me because I already know where this is going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Did you get to a point where you say, I love myself enough more than I love you because I got to walk away
Mhm.
because I can't teach my kids not to do this and not to do that. And, especially having all boys,
Yeah.
you know, what am I teaching them?
Mhm.
Am I teaching them and it's okay to be the woman?
Mhm.
It's not okay to do that.
Exactly.
And it breaks you down in certain
Or
ways.
vice versa, you know?
Yeah,
Even like for the girls,
right.
um, it's not okay for you to do it either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Either we should never come to a point where we need to be physical like
Yeah.
that.
Because then that person ain't for you and you ain't for that person.
Yes.
Because especially when you're dealing with somebody that is for you, they bring out the best of you
Mm-hmm.
and for you and to you and with you.
Yes.
Even though we may not like some of the things that are said
Mm-hmm.
as the spouse says things to you or say things to the spouse, it's never to hurt you or harm you,
Yeah.
you know. Um, and then that's a whole nother spirit dealing with the spirit of rage. People get killed because somebody had the spirit of rage, and so it's like I counsel that spirit of rage right now, whether it's in me or somebody else, because you really should be showing your kids what a healthy relationship
Mm-hmm.
should be like versus what is toxic, and they thinking, oh, that's okay, my mom always did that,
Yeah.
she always, got through it. You know, it's generational curses as
Mm-hmm.
well. 4, 5 generations, you know,
Yes.
in a hospital, like ribs broke in and all of these things. And, you can't come out of the room for days wearing sunglasses,
Mm-hmm.
all of these things. It's like, it's just like, nah, I'm gonna be with me. Then if something is in me provoking that in you, then I need to work on me for one,
Mm-hmm.
so that then I don't take it to the next relationship.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then for two, I don't need to be with you because clearly you don't value me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't love me because I don't believe somebody that says they love you will beat you and draw blood or slap you or any of those
Yes.
things. You don't really love me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, time out, time out. You know,
Right.
when do I love me?
Mm-hmm.
When do I come and see about me? You know what I'm saying? And some of it is because, again, generational things.
Mm-hmm.
You seen your great grandmother and your grandmother and your mother and your aunts being beat and drugged and all of these things, embarrassed and, you know, whooped like you a little kid in front of
Mm-hmm.
your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, oh, well, it's okay. They've been married for 25 years. But for 22 of them years, it was toxic and it was volatile, you know? And it's just like, you got to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
got to
agree.
walk away. It's something that really, I don't know, for me, it was just like, I had enough of this. I am done. You know, I don't want my kids to grow up thinking this is um, what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is dysfunction at its finest. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the fights that we would have, it wasn't done in front of the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but then you see residuals. Why your lips split?
Yeah.
You know, why a piece of your hair in the back missing?
Right.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
why you limping like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was really only one incident when my kids seen it, and it was horrible for me, you know. Um, and it was just like, not so, just not so. And at that time, I wasn't even with him anymore. I had given my life to God. Um, and it was a whole bunch of craziness, um and I just wanted to be saved. I don't even want to be with you. I don't want to have nothing to do with you, but it was just a whole bunch of things that were going on in the background, and we had got into it and got into it big. And at that point in time, it's like, I don't ever want to see you ever again in life. But I had to forgive too.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I had to forgive, because if I want the Father to forgive me, I have to forgive those who offended me. And I forgave, and we've talked after that, many a moons after. Um, and I'd already been married at the time,
Mhm.
when we kind of talked, and just said, I forgive you, and things like that. But it's like something in you just clicks.
Yeah.
It's like, man, through all of these years, why would I stay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why would I subject myself to this, to the controllingness?
Yes.
Because it starts with some kind of signs. And I think one of the main ones is controlling,
Mhm.
being controlling, what you can't wear and where you shouldn't go and who you can't be around and all of these things. You ain't my daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see with me with that second relationship,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't any like controlling.
No.
And so that's why at first when we like just fell into that relationship, it
Yeah.
was I got to be who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Um and that person would like assist in boosting with my confidence,
Okay.
or you should wear that, or
Yeah.
yeah, or if you want to cut your hair like that, do it, it looks
Mm-hmm.
good on you, like
Yeah.
very encouraging.
Yeah.
But then
What happened?
that was I felt like that was kind of like manipulation.
Okay. Maybe a facade.
Yeah.
Like, because the devil can only hide for so long.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to eventually rear out your horns eventually.
Yeah. So I never like had to deal with any of that controlling stuff
Did you ever eventually?
with my no,
Oh.
it wasn't ever like really controlling. um Even with the first relationship, it wasn't like big and controlling.
Okay.
I kind of It's really strange because in both of those relationships, as even though I was with them, I kind of felt alone.
Mm.
So I think that's kind of a reason why I'm so used to being single,
Okay.
is that I always feel like it's just me.
Yeah.
Even when I was in the first relationship, because you were always gone, or and you were incarcerated, so I had to just keep doing what I was doing to support the family,
Yeah.
and keep the kids going.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the second relationship, it was like, I'm still gonna keep doing me,
Mm-hmm.
even though you're here,
Mm-hmm.
but you're like staying stuck over in the room, or
Yeah.
separating yourself from the family.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just feel like it's
Mm.
like I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
alone. I've have felt like that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, well, most of the time, I do still feel like that,
Okay.
like I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was just talking to you about this not too long ago, that
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like a little lonely,
Yeah.
but I don't want to go out searching for anything,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because when that right time
Yeah.
comes, it's gonna find me
Yeah. Exactly.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm probably just meant to be single and figure myself out first.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't even honestly know what a healthy relationship feels
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, do I even know what real love feels like?
Mm. Do you think you ever was in real love?
No, not now,
Okay. What makes you know you were not?
because that's not love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once you build a family, if you really love this woman, or if you really love that man,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to change
Yeah.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you to be a different person,
Yeah.
but you're going to change yourself for the better,
Mm-hmm.
so that way we can have a beautiful life together.
Yes.
But if you're not willing to make those sacrifices,
Mhm.
that's not love,
Mhm.
you know? And like with the other person, like I did see him trying to like, okay, I'm gonna try to get off this.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try it, but then it just led to another thing.
Yeah.
And then with you being physical,
Mhm.
that's not love.
Yeah.
It should never come to a point where we have to disrespect each other.
Mhm.
Like, regardless of how we're feeling, we should always have that respect.
Yeah.
And if you cannot talk it out and be civilized,
Mhm.
then walk away from it
Yeah. Mhm.
until you're able to come back to that and have
Right.
a regular
Right. Right.
conversation
Right.
and work out whatever needs to be worked out.
Yeah. And I love the way you say that it will find you because he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So it's not something that you have to go looking high and low in every riverbank, every
Yeah,
pocket you had in old jeans. And,
right.
you don't got to do all of that, that the Lord will um, allow you to be found because you're hitting right now. And something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago is that, as I advised you, you have to find out who you are,
Mhm.
what Marina likes,
Yeah.
what Marina would accept, what is healthy and acceptable to Marina.
Mhm.
And then once Marina knows her, then Marina will be able to be hidden. So then God will allow you to be found.
Yes.
And it's nothing wrong with that. You know, I was by myself for a very long time before I got married,
Okay.
um, because I just wanted to love on me, especially when you come from never feeling like you were ever loved. The only person for the longest time that I ever felt loved me was my grandmother. And when she passed, it was a huge hit to me, struggling with love.
Yes.
If your mom really loves you, you know, if dad loves you, if, you know, relationships and all these things, never feeling loved. Um, Kept me in a point of standstill of certain things because it looks similar to
Mhm.
love.
Mhm.
Infatuation, lust looks sometimes similar to love when it's not at all.
Yes.
And so sometimes you stay um, way past the season because you're like, is that love? Is that
Right.
afar? From afar, is that love?
Right.
And so dealing with that, not feeling loved and not being loved, um, and not knowing what that really truly looked like and what that meant kept me in situations because all I ever wanted to be is loved. So when you struggle with that as a young person,
Mhm.
it will keep you bound down, because they tell you they love you.
Yeah.
And one of the main things is ain't nobody gonna love you like I love you. Oh, nigga, please don't. Cause I don't
Yes.
like the way you love me. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I
Right.
don't like the way you love
Right.
me, being whooped upside the head and
Mhm.
I gotta pull a knife on you and I gotta do this and do that. And
Yeah.
I, I don't wanna be loved like that,
Mm-mm.
you know? And then finding out who I was and finding God's love. And it overwhelmed me and overtook me and took me on a high Marina that you can never imagine. To feel that love,
Yeah.
unconditional love. It wasn't based on the amount of money I had.
Mhm.
It wasn't based on if I can help you pay your bill. It wasn't based on what I have and what I do and if I'll say this or do that for you. It was just unconditional.
Yes.
Agape love
Yes.
is what it was.
Mhm.
So I had to learn that first. And then he was able to allow me to love in a
Yes.
whole nother way. So I say, just learning who you are, learning that overwhelming love of God's love and
Mhm.
self-love um, does a lot for you
Yeah.
because then it allows you to create boundaries
Mhm.
because we all need boundaries,
Yes.
whether people want to accept our boundaries or not. No, they set in place for a reason.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, it is just feeling God's love.
And I'm glad that you said that right now because I that's kind of like confirmation for me
Mm-hmm.
because I just heard this like a couple days ago
Okay.
and it really like sat with me
Yeah.
to where I was really thinking of everything that you just touched on.
Yeah.
And so now you saying it again, it just gives me confirmation.
Yeah.
Like, those are the things that I need to do.
Mhm.
That's the direction that I'm going in
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Because for so long I just take care of everybody else
Yeah. Yeah.
and I neglect me.
Mhm.
So I don't know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really don't.
Mhm.
I know I'm more than a mom,
Yeah.
and I'm more than a sister and a daughter,
Uh-huh.
um, more than, this independent, hardworking person.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure it out now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you don't know how to love you, how can you allow or accept love from somebody else? Because in your mind, because you don't know what it is, you may reject it
Mhm.
or you may accept something that's not. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yes.
the main thing I see why the Bible's saying um, that the main thing is love. You know what I'm saying? To be able to accept that love and sit and be in that love and feel that warmth of that love. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
then you know how to receive it and give it. It makes you a better mother. It makes you a better friend. It makes you a better sister. It makes you a better daughter. It makes you a better wife. It makes you a better employee. It makes you a better you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just to
Yes.
feel love. Like sometimes I sit and I'm overwhelmed and I just begin to cry. Um, Yesterday I was listening to a song and it was saying that about his overwhelming love. Um, And I just began to thank him for loving me because I didn't know how to love me. And I didn't know how to let nobody in and love me because so many people have let me down. So many people have abused me. So many people have lied on me. So many people have taken advantage of me. Some people have mistreated me. Being raped and molested as a child. Um, Being abandoned, stepped on, looked over, hurt,
Mhm.
damaged, even left for dead. And everybody's like, oh, you're so strong. You're so strong. You can take it. And so you just take it
Mhm.
because you know you can hold it and you know your shoulders are big enough to handle it. But it's like, when do I get love?
Yes.
When do I
Yeah.
see love? When do I get to accept love? When do I get to experience love? Because everybody else around me is being loved and I'm being mistreated and I'm being talked about and I'm being told, oh, you this and you that, and you ain't gonna be like that, and you like your daddy, and you fast, you this, and I ain't fast because I ain't even into the things that y'all think I'm into right now, you know. And so, um, just being hurt and always knowing what it feels like to accept pain, that also will keep us locked into places
Yeah.
that we know we shouldn't be in, because it's just like,
And I totally understand what you're saying because I feel like that.
yeah,
I feel like that
yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
Like, I always got everybody, but who got me?
yeah,
Like, no one asks me how I'm doing,
yeah,
how I'm feeling.
yeah.
Everyone has somebody.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, I lay my head down by myself.
yeah,
No one comes to me like, "Sis, how you doing?
yeah,
Mom, how you doing?"
yeah,
Everyone's like you said, she's strong. She
yeah,
can handle it. But sometimes you get tired of being strong.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to be strong.
yeah.
Like, I want to someone to care for me, love on me.
Yes,
Like, yeah, and I'm learning to do that for myself,
yeah,
but like, man,
yeah,
I'm just tired.
yeah, yeah,
And then you get tired of being tired.
yeah, yeah,
You really get tired of being tired,
yeah.
and I want someone to be strong for me.
Yes, yes. Be vulnerable. Be
Yes.
in your woman bag.
Yes.
Yes,
I don't want to have to be Oh, she'll get through it.
Uh-huh.
I'm just ready for growth,
Yeah.
love,
Mhm.
like real love, as we were
Yeah.
speaking, unconditional. And that's why I am the way I am with my kids,
Mhm.
so close with them,
Yeah.
because that's the only unconditional love I ever feel,
Yes, I understand.
no matter what. They know I've always been there and did everything for them,
Yes.
and that's the only where I feel it from. And I think sometimes that's why I get a little of like afraid of putting myself out there
Mhm.
into any dating scene as well,
Mhm.
because I'm just be with them.
Yeah.
I love being with them,
Mhm.
and whoever I end up being with,
Mhm.
they will have to be very comfortable with that,
Yeah. Yeah.
because yeah, they're all gonna grow up,
Yeah.
and it's just gonna be me.
Yeah.
But I'm always gonna have their backs,
Yeah.
and they're always gonna be around, no matter
Yeah.
how old they get.
Right.
No
Right.
matter how, and I love my grandkids. I just like
Uh-huh.
I whoever that man
Mhm.
is that's a big role to
Yeah.
fill in,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and something to have to accept with that. And
Mhm.
sometimes people are not so accepting.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got kids, yeah, but they're grown.
Yeah. They
I'm
still
very
need it.
active
Yeah, they
in
still
their
need it.
life. I'm very
Mhm.
active in my grandchildren's life.
Yeah.
So when it happens, we'll see who that great man's gonna be.
Exactly. It's gonna have to be great.
Yeah.
How does it feel when you feel like the only love you get support system is from your kids? How does that make you feel?
Um, I don't know. Like sometimes it's hard. It's a little hurting because like I'm the big sis, right?
Mhm.
But sometimes I want a big sis too.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy our talk so much, because I feel like I get that from you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Sometimes I don't have anybody to speak that life into me.
Yeah.
My dad, yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of the time, and that's who I have a lot of my deep conversations with.
Mhm. He's so funny, by the way.
Yeah. But sometimes it's not like I can't always talk to him about
Yeah. Yeah.
certain things, you know?
Most definitely.
And then my sisters, like, they're there for me,
Mhm.
but they don't understand me.
Yeah.
And their lives are different. And I'm glad that their lives are different. I'm glad that they found the men that they have and they're married and their families. I love that for them. They just don't understand what me,
Yeah.
because it's like I had a conversation once with one of my sisters, and I told her, you never had it bad
Mhm.
to appreciate the good that you have.
Okay.
And unless you have gone through something like that, you're not appreciating what you got right now.
Right. Exactly.
So really take that into consideration,
Yeah.
because you could have a man that isn't doing everything for his family,
Mhm.
but making those sacrifices. Yeah. You can have a man that's running away from you, in addiction, and that's for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, appreciate what you really have right in front of you,
Yeah.
because life's too short; it could be gone, and then you're gonna mistreat somebody, and you lose that person.
Yeah.
All because you just didn't know how to treat and appreciate the good you had in your life.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to you shouldn't have to go through that. Like, you shouldn't have to, oh, I know what it's like to have it bad, so let me appreciate what the good I got.
Right.
Just recognize it.
Yeah.
Take it into consideration. This is what you were blessed with.
Yes.
Thankfully, you didn't have to go through nothing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Thankfully, you got this great family and able to be married and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not everybody And sometimes I'm like, I think I'm gonna be single forever. Or I'd say like, I like being single. But do I really like being single? I had to ask myself that question not too long ago.
What was your answer?
I said, do I like being single, or am I comfortable?
Yeah.
And I'm just comfortable because no one could hurt me because I already know what that hurt feels like.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting in this comfortability because it's like, if I don't, I won't get my feelings hurt.
Yeah.
I won't go through this stuff again.
Yeah. I most definitely understand that. That was good stuff right there, Lorena. We went through the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs about staying in things too long, about love, about being able to know when to tap out. And I think this may help somebody, to understand that, like, hey, life is too short and you got to move on when the season is up.
Yes.
Don't stay too long.
Yes.
Well, that was another episode of So Sweet Sundays. I am Sweets.
And I'm Marina.
And we out. Boop, boop.